Welcome back to the DIY Dad. Today we're going to do some holiday exterior illumination. I'm going to show you how to make some of these Christmas orbs that you can either put on your lawn or hang in your tree to help decorate your house for the holidays. So I'm going to show you how we're going to make these, and then we'll also show you how to install them. So let's get started. Alright, let's start off with a list of what you need to do this. And I'll be honest with you, this is a very time-consuming activity the first time you do it. But after you've done it, in subsequent years, it's a lot easier. So, at a minimum, you're going to need some work gloves, some wire cutters, a roll of chicken wire, a bunch of either different sets of colors of Christmas lights. Just you can get, these are the cheap kind. They're $3 at Home Depot for a strand of 100. So you're gonna need a bunch of those. You're gonna need a bunch of these cheap extension cords. Probably at least one for every orb that you do. You're also gonna need a number of outdoor extension cords. Need some zip ties. 8-inch zip ties, and a few rolls of kite string or twine, some duct tape, and then what's optional but that I recommend is a couple of outdoor timers. Again, these are real cheap. Get those at Home Depot. A power drill, a few screws, an empty water bottle that we're going to fill with water, and I'll show you why we're going to need that. And then I also really recommend that you get one of these extension poles and one of these little hooks, like a little U-hook that you can just put in there, and we'll duct tape that on there, and I'll show you why you want to do that, but it's going to make this job a lot easier once we start installing these things. So that's what you're going to need in order to do this project. Alright, we've got our chicken wire laid out here, and it's 2 feet from top to bottom of the roll. And it doesn't matter, you can make these any size you want, but you want them to be at least twice as long as they are tall. And so once you got that laid out, so we got 4 feet spread out here, and we're just going to take our wire cutters and clip this all the way down. Alrighty, once we got our chicken wire cut here, what we're going to do is we're going to make a cylinder, and we're going to use these little wires where we cut it, and we're just going to twist those in like that, and we're going to do this all the way down until we get a full cylinder. Now that we've got our cylinder, we're going to stand it up, and we're just going to tuck it in, the top in, till it comes to about the center of the cylinder. And we're going to fold that over several times all the way around until we get it all folded in over itself like this, and then we'll flip it over and do the same thing on the bottom. Once we've done one side and we flip it over, do the bottom, what I like to do is I like to step in it, just kind of flatten the bottom out, because it ain't going to be perfect. And we'll flip it over, or we'll fold this side in just like we did on the top side. Alrighty, now we've got our ball, and you're gonna have to just adjust it a little bit and make it more spherical than cylindrical. And it's not gonna be perfect, but once you get the lights on there, you won't be able to tell. Of course, you can go out and buy these pre-made, and they'll be a lot more cylindrical, but what's the fun in that? That's not the DIY dad way. Why buy it when you can make it? Alright, so we've got our cylinder, and I'll show you the next step. Alright, next I've got a strand of 100 blue Christmas lights, and one thing you want to do, you want to plug these in and test them before you unravel them, which I've already done. Make sure they work. And then you can take, this is important, take the plug end and just feed it through one of the wire holes and back out the other, and give it about 6 to 8 inches of clearance. And then what we're going to do, actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to double loop this in here just to keep it in place. Just like that. There we go. And then we're going to wrap the ball, go all the way around, and then give it 90-degree turn. And then give it a 45-degree turn, and we're just going to wrap this whole thing, and we'll use 2 strands of 100 lights each if you're doing the big ball. If you do the small balls, then you probably can get away with just 100 light strand per ball. Once we've got our lights on the globe, we're going to take one of these zip ties, fish it down through the wire and back up the other end, and just zip it off like that. And that'll just, not only keep it in place while they're hanging up there, but also when you store these between seasons, it'll kind of keep them from getting messed up. So I've got that. That's our finished product there. And again, it doesn't look perfect now, but it'll be fine once it gets up in the trees. And we're going to test this one more time just to make sure the lights work, and then I'll see you outside. All right, remember we talked about having an empty water bottle. I've taken my water bottle and filled it up with water, and I've taken my string and tied it to the water bottle. And I'll show you how we're going to use this. All right, I have brought my orbs out, and you can kind of see I've kind of placed them generally where I want them to go. And I have also run an extension cord from the house, and then it's draped up over a limb there. It's got 3 sockets on it, and so this is what we're going to use to plug our lights into. All right, we're going to take our water bottle and our extension pole with the hook on the end of it. We're going to use that to drop the water bottle over a tree branch, which will bring it all the way down. Next, we're going to take our utility knife, cut the string off the water bottle, and tie it onto our chicken wire here. Use a butcher's knot. And then we're going to let our string that goes to the roll of twine, we're just going to cut that off. And we'll just let that just kind of dangle like there. I may, since it's windy today, I may take a stick here and just tie it to the stick. That way it won't lose my rope. So I'm just going to let that just dangle right there. And we're going to do this for all of the orbs before we go to the next step. All right, so we've got all our globes strung up, and they're just sitting on the ground. And I should have said this before, you want to make sure, depending on how long your extension cords are, your individual extension cords, you want to make sure that the balls are roughly that distance apart. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our extension cord, we're just going to plug that in there like that, and then we're going to take a strip, half strip of duct tape, and we're just going to wrap that around the joint just to make sure that if the wind blows or the weight of it doesn't pull this apart. And so now I'm going to take the other end of this and I'm going to go string it to the next ball right over there. So once you get those all strung, again, balls are still on the ground, I'll show you the next step. All right, now we've got all our globes strung and we've got them wired together with extension cords. Next thing we're going to do is pull the strings and lift them up into the tree. And then I've got a screw that I've put in the back of this tree where I'm going to just tie it off so that it stays where it's supposed to stay. We're going to do that all the way down the line, and you want to make sure these things are hung at different heights so there's a little variety in them. So I'll be back once I get all these tied up. All right, so we've pulled all the balls up into the trees. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And you can't really see them well now, but we'll come out when it's dark. And I've got these plugged onto a timer, so we'll be back in a few hours. All right, the sun has gone down and here's our finished product. Got all these bulbs, look good. And so that'll bring some joy to your heart for the holiday season. Be sure to smash that like button. We'll see you next time.